Hello everyone. Today the topic which I am going to explain is different types of commission in consignment, and also you'll all will be learning about types of loss in stock type. First and foremost, if I'll be telling about three different commissions. One is ordinary commission, then del credit commission, and overriding commission. So first and foremost commission, if you are speaking about it, is ordinary commission. Ordinary commission is the commission, dear students, which is given by the consignor. Of course, the commission is given by consignor to consignee, but ordinary commission means both the parties, when they make the agreement, they agree upon a particular rate of commission which will be paid, and this rate of commission will be calculated on the gross sales which is made by the consignee, and accordingly the consignor will pay, after calculating this rate of interest, the commission to the consignee. So foremost point which you'll have to remember when it is about ordinary commission is about the bad debts. You all know purchase and sales, we do it either in cash or on credit. So when we do the credit sales here in consignment, there is always a possibility of bad debts, of not being repaid the amount, our debtors, if they fail to pay us. So in such a situation, all the bad debts arising through this consignment, it will have to be borne by the consignor. So that is one very important point about ordinary commission which you all have to remember. The next commission is del credit commission. This commission is actually such a type of commission is taken up by consignor so that he doesn't have to bear the bad debts. Here what happens, the bad debts are borne by the consignee. So for that, because the bad debts are to be borne by the consignee, he will charge extra commission for that. But such a commission will be only taken by the consignees who are quite sure that even though they do credit sales, they will get the money from the debtors. So, and also the consignors, to escape from the bad debts, what they'll do, they'll give this del credit commission to the consignee so that they don't have to bear the bad debts, and consignee will be the one who will be bearing the bad debts. So bad debts, there won't be any entry made in the books of consignor, but yes, consignee, he will prepare the debtors account in his books of accounts. Generally, you have seen that a consignee in his books of accounts prepares only the consignor's account to know how much he has to get from the consignor, and to also know that how much he actually has to give it to the consignor, the actual amount which has to be remitted to the consignor. And also this consignee, in case if there are any bad debts which are arising through this consignment, to know whether he made profit or loss, what he'll do is he'll deduct this bad debts from his commission, and then he'll come to know whether he made profit or loss on that consignment. So this was about del credit commission, dear students. The next commission we have is overriding commission. Now overriding commission means again extra commission which is given by the consignor to consignee. Now why consignor is giving this extra commission is because he wants to take extra work, we can say, or the consignee has to put even more hard work. For instance, let us say if consignor is planning to launch a new product into the market. See, when a new product comes into the market, it is not easy, it is not easily sold. There is lot of hard work goes into it. The information has to reach to the customers, and only then the customers, if they are interested, they will buy it. So here, when a new product is launched, consignee has to put lot of hard work. For this, obviously he'll charge extra amount, and that extra amount is going to go as commission from the consignor to the consignee. Or we can also say an extra commission can be asked in case if a consignor, he appoints a consignee to supervise the work of other agents in that particular area. So instead of paying salary, what they do is they give extra commission. So that could be one of the reasons. So finally, what is overriding commission is the surplus commission which the consignee is getting, that is overriding commission. It can be in case the goods, if he sells for a higher amount, so that extra commission also on the gross sales comes under overriding commission. So these were the three types of commission, dear student. See to it that you learn them, because these are quite important in your board examination. It is a repeated question for 2 marks. Any one of them could be asked to be explained, and always remember your 2 marks answer, you will just finish it in 4 to 5 lines maximum. Yes, that's it, 4 to 5 lines you'll finish it, and you'll be given 2 marks. So grab it, don't leave such an opportunity, and concentrate on learning this. Soon in class test I'll put these 3 types of commission. I'll give any one. Now you'll have to be prepared with all 3 of them, because you don't know which one I'm going to give. So that is about commission, dear students. And the last topic in your consignment, it is loss on stock types. Now what does this mean is the goods which are sent by the consigner to the consignee, there is always a tendency, there is always a possibility of loss in the quantity. So that is what we are talking about. We are talking about the loss in the quantity of the items of the goods which are being consigned. So it is actually 2 types of losses. One is normal loss, and the other one is abnormal loss. There is no explanation about abnormal loss in your textbook, so you don't have to bother about that. Normal loss is something, yes, you'll all have to learn. Now what is normal loss? Normal loss is a loss, children, which is unavoidable, which is usual to happen. It is natural, maybe because of the nature of the goods is as such that there is loss in the quantity of the stock. For example, coal. It's a beautiful example. Coal, while unloading and loading, there is a tendency of coal dropping down. So likewise it gets wasted. So there the quantity which actually has to be reached to the consignee, it decreases. For example, let me say some 500 tons of coal was sent from the consigner to the consignee, but by the time the coal reached to the consignee, it was only 475 tons has reached. So this 25 tons, that is actually the loss. Or let me quote another example. Gas and oil and natural gas, if we speak about, maybe because of evaporation or in case of any leakage, the capacity of it reduces. So that comes under normal loss. And because normal loss is unavoidable, it forms the cost of consignment, and we have to calculate it. And normal loss, because it is usual, we don't pass any journal entry, or we don't make a separate account of that, but yes, we calculate it on the unsold stock. Till now you have learned how to calculate the unsold stock. You were taking the total cost of the items and the non-recurring expenses of the consigner and consignee you were adding, and the unsold stock you were calculating the amount there. But now when we are including the normal loss, because it has to put up to the rest of the stock, the formula which will be valuation of unsold stock, you'll take the total cost of the goods which was consigned, you'll multiply it with the quantity unsold, and you will divide it by the total quantity of goods consigned less the normal loss in quantity. So putting this formula into use, you will get how to calculate the normal loss, how to put normal loss and calculate the unsold stock. I'll be soon explaining now illustration number 6 from your consignment chapter. And to just give an idea to you what is abnormal loss. Abnormal loss, children, like normal loss is unavoidable, but abnormal loss can be avoided, because this loss arises, it could be, the reason could be theft or any fire accident in the organization or any other reason as such. So this was about different types of loss. Now let us move further with the illustration. Please pay attention. And with this we come to the end of the chapter consignment, dear students. Please get prepared. Tomorrow I'll be conducting UT of this month. Already you have submitted your assignment of homework, and it's going to be for 10 marks, and All the very best for your test. Now let us have a look at the illustration. So this is our illustration number 6. A dealer in apple consigned 1,000 tons of apple at a cost of 10,000 and paid rupees 2,000 towards freight and insurance. Consignee received 950 tons of apples. Consignee sold 500 tons of apple. 50 tons of apple are treated as unavoidable loss. Calculate value of unsold stock. So if you see here, how many tons of apple was consigned? 1,000 tons. Okay, and what was the cost of these 1,000 apples? 10,000 rupees. And how much charges are put up by the consignor? 2,000, which he has paid towards freight, the transportation and insurance. Now consignee, he has received only 950 tons of apple. If you see, actually 1,000 tons of apple have sent. Because of some reason there was a loss of 50 tons and only 950 tons of apples have reached consignee. And from this 950 also, consignee has sold how much? 500. As I said, normal loss we always calculate on the unsold stock. So unsold stock, how much are we getting? 950 minus 500, that will be 450 tons. We'll have to calculate this valuation of stock, unsold stock for 450 tons of apples. Then have a look, 50 tons of apples is treated as unavoidable loss and you'll have to calculate the unsold stock. So here children, in solution you'll write every step very clearly. The cost of 1,000 tons of apples is 10,000. Add consignor's expenses. Why we are adding it? Because it is freight and insurance. It's a non-recurring expense. That is why we have added this 12,000. So total cost of this 1,000 tons of apple is 12,000. If you see, you might get a doubt that consignee's expenses are not added here because they are not given in the question. Alright, and now total quantity of goods less normal loss in quantity. If we see, the quantity of goods which are sent was 1,000 and normal loss is 50. So when we deduct it, it is 950. Stock of unsold goods, 950 minus 500, it is 450 tons. Now you'll put the formula into use. Therefore, value of unsold stock, as I have told earlier, total cost of goods consigned. How much is total cost of goods? 12,000 into quantity of unsold stock. How much stock is unsold? 450. Excuse me. Alright. Yes. And you will be dividing it by total quantity of goods sent. How much it was sent? 1,000 less normal loss in quantity. How much is the normal loss? 50. So value of unsold stock, when you put the figures into that formula, this is how it's going to look. 12,000 is the cost of goods which was consigned, 450 the unsold stock, and 1,000 minus 50 you'll get 950. And when you do the calculation, this is the figure which you'll be getting, dear students, rupees 5,681.21 paise. So they have taken it to the nearest value, that is 5,684 is the value of unsold stock. So in case if you get a normal loss in question, this is how you'll be solving. Please see to it that you all copy this, do this, I would say rather, do this illustration number 6 in your notebooks, because you don't have any textual questions which are related to normal loss. So please try to do that. And that is about today's class, dear students. Hope you all have understood consignment. Okay, thank you. Good day.